Hi, this is Phil and Trish from SkiTalk.com, and we've got another throwback review for you, and that is going to be on the 2005 Atomic Metron MEX. Now, the MEX was the biggest ski in the collection of that Metron series, which had the M7, M8, M9, M10, M11, M11B5, which was the really popular one in that collection, and the big brother here, which is the MEX. Now, Trish, what's your interpretation of that Metron collection?
So, first of all, that is how I found EpicSki.com. I was in the market for new skis. I had had my first shape ski just prior to that, and I wanted something that had a little bit more power in the slush and the crud, and I lived in northern Michigan, so we didn't have a lot of vert. I think my local hill was 375 feet of vert, so I wanted something with a little shorter turn radius. And the Metron B5 had been recommended to me because it had that short turn radius. I went on Epic Ski because I wanted to get some information on that, and at the time Steve Hultquist and you had a little bit of experience. There were a handful of people that knew a lot about it, and the people on Epic in their infinite wisdom said, you can get it if you want, but it's going to be too much ski for you. And the reality is it was, but boy did I have fun on it on those shorter hills because it had that tighter turn radius. And it was 78 I think underfoot, 77,
76.
70, yeah, underfoot. But it had a wide shovel and a little bit wider tail, so it had a really tight turn radius, and it was a tank. So if you got into that spring slush or a little bit heavier snow that you get typically in the Midwest, it just blew through that.
Well, the B5 was really the flagship of that Metron collection, and what they did is they took a lot of their race technology with that beta lobe construction and brought it over to a recreational ski and made a really stout ski. And with that B5 being really popular, brought a lot of the people in. And really the unheralded ski in that collection is what we have right here, which was the MEX. Really wasn't as popular as the other skis, but really it's the one that I think stood the test of time.
Absolutely. With
dimensions on the ski of 124, 84, 111 in our reference 175 that we have here, it has a 19-meter turn radius. Those numbers are really not too different than what we have now on our modern skis in this mid 80 millimeter wide ski. And I brought along its newest incarnation from Atomic, which is the Redster 9.8. Dimensions on that are 134, 84.5, 118 with a 14.5 meter radius turn. So we've got pretty much the same waist in both these skis, roughly the same length, but dramatically different turn radiuses between these two skis. And that really shows how our perception of this mid 80 millimeter category has progressed in almost 20 years.
And it's still a segment that people come looking for. And we get kind of pigeonholed as being the carving website and the people who look at a lot more of the carving skis when people are looking for their reviews. And I don't dismiss that because there are a lot of days out there in the snow where this segment of skis should be the ski you're on.
Yeah. Now, and that's really very important, and it's that mid 80-some millimeter wide collection, and we get into narrow wide skis and wide narrow skis in this design. Now, looking at these two skis, you still see a lot of similarities, and what I really want to delve at this point is the bindings. I mean, this is based off of the original NEOX binding, which we have on our current generation of Atomic. You see a lot of similarities, but where this one here is really unique, this was the Atomic NEOX EBM, which was the electronic binding management system, which this is a fully electronic binding, which is really cool. And it was probably the most expensive binding of the time, and probably still the most expensive binding that was ever really produced, at I believe around $1,200 just for the binding. It was short run, it was only 1 year, but what was really cool with this binding is the technology that was in it is the toe and the heel actually talk to each other and communicate. The heel adjustment on it is in the back, but it reads in the front window here. And we have specific left and right toes and left and right heels. So you have to make sure that you pair them properly. And you'll see in this video as far as when that boot goes in, on what happens in this window and the information that is in there. It shows make sure the forward pressure is correct on it. It also will give you your binding settings in tenths of an increment versus most of them being quarter and halves. But the technology here was incredible, and it still functions very well. I can see why it was short-lived because of the cost of it, but it's a shame that it did not move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were excited about it. When you got the tool to unlock it, you were just really giddy.
It was a really neat bind to find, and it's something that, quite frankly, I was tempted to put it onto the new Redster, but the mounting system on it is a little bit different. But you can see close up here the similarities between the two bindings on it.
Tried and true. It's a tried and true binding.
It is. It works really well. Atomic is still using variations of this on all but their top-level race skis. It's a very efficient binding and very fast return to center on it, and it's just a proven design. But between these two skis on the snow, unfortunately I don't have any video of me skiing the NEOX, but it is a little more with that 19-meter radius, definitely that little bit more of that turn radius, that longer radius that's built into the ski, and that definitely shows on the snow. The other difference that I really found as far as the evolution of the skis and with the newer version here is how much quieter that new ski is on the snow, and how much planted that the ski feels on the snow.
For sure. I have not been on this exact ski, but I have been on some of the women's side of that line.
The cloud side,
and the cloud side is just stellar. You feel like you're glued to the snow, and it'll just go through anything.
Yeah. And I really like that they've gone to that shorter turn radius on the ski at 14.5 from this 19-meter radius on it. So this ski is definitely much more reactive, but even with that shorter radius, it does have a more feel at speed and hold speed much better than this ski ever could.
And I think that the B5 had more of that tighter turn radius.
It did. It did. When you got into that narrower ski, the tip and tail stayed about the same when you went to that M11 and the B5, but it's the waist that expanded here, and that's how we got that longer turn radius between the two skis. But in 25 years, we definitely saw a change in, even though the skis are very similar, how everything has modernized in them.
Oh, for sure. And you know, the thing is that every year they improve technology a little bit more. They make the skis a little bit more fun and a little bit more fun, because
skiing is fun.
Don't forget, y'all, skiing is fun. Keep the FU in fun. I'm taking the elevator down.
If you enjoyed this informative video, hit that bell, subscribe so that you'll stay up to date on the new videos, and check out SkiTalk.com for more ski-related content.
Also, please follow SkiTalk.com on all of your social media channels. No clams were shucked during the course of this video.